They found the bus, but the passengers, they were all gone. That was what we heard when we arrived at the village the next morning. My cousin Ifeanyi and I had been on the same road just hours before. It could have been us. The air was heavy with whispers and suspicion, and people kept saying the same thing. This is December. People forget to pray before traveling. They forget what happens on these roads. Let me start from the beginning. Ifeanyi and I were university students, and like many others, we were heading home for the holidays. December in Nigeria is a time of celebration, but also chaos. Roads are busy, everyone is in a hurry, and transportation is a gamble. We were lucky to find a bus leaving late in the evening. It wasn't fancy, a regular danfo, loud and overcrowded, but it would take us home to our village. As we boarded, my aunt's voice echoed in my head. Chijioke, don't forget to pray before you leave. These roads are not ordinary. She was always dramatic, so I brushed it off. Ifeanyi, ever the joker, laughed it off too. What will prayer do for a bad engine or a reckless driver? He had said. We laughed, not knowing how much we'd regret it. The journey started normally. The bus was filled with students like us, a few traders carrying their wares, and an old woman who sat quietly in the back, clutching a black bag. Everyone minded their business until we reached a narrow stretch of road lined with thick bushes. It was pitch dark. The only light came from the headlights, flickering like they were struggling to stay alive. Suddenly, the bus began to slow down. The driver muttered something about the engine overheating and pulled over to the side of the road. We all got down to stretch our legs. That's when we noticed something strange. There was a man standing by the roadside, just staring at us. He was tall and thin, wearing tattered clothes, and his face didn't look right. It was like he was smiling, but not in a friendly way. Who is that? One of the traders asked nervously. Nah, carry yourself and go, oh, the driver shouted. The man didn't respond. He just stood there, watching. The old woman from the back of the bus spoke up for the first time. Don't talk to him. Don't look at him. Everybody get back on the bus now. Her voice was calm but firm, and something about the way she said it sent shivers down my spine. Without thinking, we obeyed her and got back on the bus. The man didn't move as the bus sputtered back to life and drove off. About 10 minutes later, the old woman began to pray softly. Her voice was shaky but steady, like she was trying to keep fear at bay. Some of the passengers rolled their eyes, but others joined in. Why is she acting like that? Ifeanyi whispered to me. Before I could answer, the driver slammed on the brakes. There, in the middle of the road, was the same man. How did he get here? Someone stammered. The driver swerved to avoid him and kept driving faster this time. But as we sped down the road, strange things started happening. The air inside the bus grew colder, and the headlights flickered again. Then the radio came on by itself, playing static mixed with faint whispers. One of the passengers, a girl sitting in front, started crying. I don't feel right, she kept saying. The old woman raised her voice, still praying, but now it was louder, more urgent. Pray! All of you! Pray for your lives! Just as she spoke, the bus lurched forward like we had hit something. The driver cursed and pulled over again to check. Nobody get down this time, he warned, but it was too late. The girl who had been crying screamed and pointed outside. Where are we? I looked out the window and my stomach dropped. The road was gone. We were surrounded by thick, endless bush, even though we had been on a highway just moments ago. We're lost, Ifeanyi whispered. How is this possible? Panic spread through the bus. The driver tried to start the engine again, but it wouldn't budge. The whispers on the radio grew louder, almost like they were speaking directly to us. The old woman stood up, her black bag clutched tightly. This is not an ordinary place, she said. We have been led into the evil forest. If you want to live, pray. At this point, everyone was shouting and praying at once. The bus shook violently, like something or someone was outside trying to get in. The windows fogged up and faint handprints began to appear on the glass. The old woman opened her bag and brought out a small bottle of what looked like holy water. She began sprinkling it around the bus, chanting in a language I didn't recognize. The air grew thicker, heavier, until suddenly, everything went silent. The engine roared to life on its own and the bus jerked forward. The driver didn't question it. He just drove. The thick bush slowly gave way to the familiar tarred road, and the oppressive cold lifted. When we finally reached the village, it was dawn. We stumbled out of the bus, shaken but alive. The old woman disappeared into the crowd before anyone could thank her. It wasn't until later that we heard about the other bus. It had left the same park as ours just an hour earlier. They found it abandoned in the same area where we had stopped, but none of the passengers were ever found. My aunt didn't need to say "I told you so" when I got home. I didn't sleep for days, replaying the events in my head. Ifeanyi, the Joker, no longer made fun of prayers. To this day, I don't travel in December without praying. It's not about being superstitious. It's about knowing that some roads are not just roads. Some roads are traps.